everybody. Welcome to another exciting edition of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. It's your boy Geo here, still petitioning for an Inhumans Omnibus. We're going to make that happen. That's a resolution, that's a goal of mine for 2023, if possible. So, welcome everybody. Tonight is media night. I'm going to be joined by my co-host shortly, having a little bit of a technical hiccup. But thank you everybody for tuning in. It's always great to talk with you guys about whatever the heck we want. It's a free program, right? We can talk about comics, movies, games, whatever you guys want, media related. That's what we're here for, as well as, very importantly, answering your questions. That is very important. Thank you to Jesse Say What. First on the list. Next, imagine on hashtag peacefully protesting for an Inhumans Omnibus. Hell yeah, brother. I agree with you. Kicking off with King Geo. Nice. Thank you, Hayden. Harley, thank you for joining. Jesse, no questions, just happy to be here. Ask us about anything in life, any question, just as long as it isn't too controversial or like real world issues or whatever, because that's, this is a pit stop in the hellish fire and landscape that is the real world in 2022. So, you can sit here, chill for a bit, chill for an hour with some friends, and then go on with your life and soldiering on. Hey, so is it the continuing of getting silenced? Oh, wait, Angry Dog isn't here. Nah, you're good. Unless you start making some trouble and insulting the Inhumans, then it's business. Personal business. Thank you, everybody, for joining once again. Let me give a quick shout out to the sponsor for tonight's stream. That is, of course, the lovely folks at InStockTrades.com, your home for all things collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, trade paperback, hardcover, manga, all that fun stuff. We're going to talk about some comic book related stuff and some video game stuff that have books available at InStockTrades.com, up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that if you order on a week-by-week basis. If you make an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping, fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com. You can see here the deals of the week. We didn't have the little graphic on Monday, but here it is now. Some great deals. You can get that Question Omnibus for 50% off. That's going to be great. Same with the 100 Bullets Omnibus at 50% off. And if you know what? Here's a trick. Place a small order. You get the loyalty discount. Boom. You get that Question Omni for 52% off. That's fantastic. And look at all the awesome stuff that you can get. I do like me some Fist of the North Star. I need to get that book. I haven't gotten it yet. Great deals from everybody. Look at all the publishers, all that fun stuff. Your home for all things collected editions is InStockTrades.com. Shout out to them. Thank you so much for making it happen. Okay, so tonight, I still have this freaking hashtag from Monday. I forgot to erase it. Let me do that now. So tonight is kind of loosey-goosey because I'm not up to date with Miss Marvel. Lou is. I think he's up to date with it, so he can talk more about it when he comes back. Having some technical difficulties there, but I only watched the first episode, which was a lot of fun, and I'm waiting for either the penultimate episode or the ultimate or the final one, so I can binge the whole thing. I've just been busy to follow it on a weekly basis. Still need to watch today's episode, but I'm currently loving it. I liked episode 1. I have my gripes with the show, and that's not gonna subside anytime soon, but I do like the actors, and I did like what I saw with the first episode. But again, I don't have any knowledge of what's happening with the series, so I can't comment on it. Um, hashtag. Oh, you're lucky that Omnidog isn't on. He'd be pretty upset. Warren, what's the deal with the Persona news on Switch? Might as well get started on that. I don't have the graphic here with me, but to cover a little bit of gaming news, I posted a video on my gaming channel, Geekdom Gaming, if you guys want to check it out, where I went over the Nintendo Direct Mini, and they finally announced. I mean, it all started with Xbox when they did their summer gaming presentation, and they revealed that they were going to put out Persona 5, 4, and 3 in. I don't know why I went backwards, but whatever. They're going to put all 3 games on their Game Pass service as well as PC. PlayStation's also going to get it. We already had Persona 5 on there. So now 4 and 3 are going to be on PlayStation 4 and 5. And the last one to announce it, we all knew it was coming, is Nintendo. They're actually putting out Persona 3, 4, and 5. Now, what's interesting about it, it's great news, but I'm a little bit bummed out at first. I'm confident it won't be for too long, but the reason I'm saying this is that let's see, physical. Here it is. Because they put out a graph of the releases for. There we go. Got it. I'm such a good web browser hunter, whatever. I'm good at finding stuff online. That's what I'm getting at. Here it is. Let me zoom out. So they put out this little graph here. Persona 5 is dropping finally on the Switch October 21st of this year. It's going to be available on all of those systems. And if you look there, it will receive a physical edition. However, Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 Portable will both be, for now, digital only. And that completely sucks. I hate it. I dislike having digital only titles, but it is a big enough franchise that I do see them putting out a physical edition later on. And I do see somebody like, hold on, you here?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Sorry
Your
about that.
webcam not working?
Dude, my internet has been garbage all day. I fucking hate Xfinity.
I feel you.
Yeah, I'm on my tablet right now.
Okay. Well, we did that a couple last month, actually. I did a voice only stream. Now you can participate in that again.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to start with this, but Warren is asking us about the Persona news. So I started with that.
Right.
I'm very confident to finish my statement before I let you geek out about this. I'm very confident somebody like Play Asia, for example, they're going to pimp out and release a physical edition of 4 and 3 at some point next year. So I'm not too worried about it because it's a big enough franchise that they will want to make even more money by releasing physicals. But for now, just 5 physical, the other 2 digital. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think that's kind of a given. I mean, the kind of ongoing joke in our chat was, okay, when will Persona come to Switch? Because Atlas wants to make money. Fans have been demanding it for years, and it just kind of makes sense because the series really lends itself to portable play. Because for those of you that don't play Persona, you're literally playing a high school student, and you're going through pretty much a year in their life in every game. And along the way, you fight demons and like a whole bunch of other, weebo stuff that is traditional in a JRPG. So this format is just perfect for a Switch. I've got a kid along the way. I can't wait for Persona 4 Golden because there's going to be probably a lot of late nights where I'm just like, well, okay, I've got the kid. I'm going to just try to have her go to sleep or try to rock her to bed, and I'll pop the Switch and I'll probably be playing Persona 4.
Hell yeah. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I've only played 5 on the PlayStation 4, and I do own Persona 4 on Steam, and I played a little bit of that. But I'm a sucker. I'm a Nintendo fanboy, so I'm gonna double dip on this franchise, and I'm gonna get them
Mm.
for that console. So I'm excited.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Carly says, I am excited to be able to play Persona on Switch. About time, although I'm so bad about finishing JRPGs. Yeah, a lot of people suffered from that, myself included. But I think Persona has that charm and appeal, especially if you like anime and manga and Japanese pop culture, where you will
Mhm.
want to stick around with it. I had some issues that prevented me from doing so, and right now my PlayStation 4 is dead. But I put in like 40 hours on Royal. I know it's super tiny compared to the actual 100-hour run or whatever, but I was really loving it, and I'm looking forward to playing the game again. If I don't fix my PlayStation 4, even if I do, I'll pick it up on the Switch and play it again.
Mm. Yeah, no, I think you absolutely nailed it on the head. Uh, do you expect now? You said you think we're gonna play Asian version of these. Do you expect maybe a limited run edition of these as well?
I
Something like
hope not.
that.
I hope not, because this is a pretty famous franchise that they don't need to do a like a limited run
Mhm.
label type distribution or whatever. Because yeah, no, they take forever, and they can get a little bit pricey with their deluxe editions. People like to
Mhm.
hate on limited run. I wouldn't want to see that.
Yeah, same. I'm kind of surprised that they're waiting all the way till October just to drop 5 Royal, and I had my fingers crossed for that during that direct that we get a shadow drop, and they would go, yeah, it's today. You can download it today. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, well, we don't even have a date for Golden or Persona 3 Portable, which I don't know. I've had my fingers crossed that it'd be this year. It's not looking like
I
it'll happen.
I think they want to release all three for all the platforms around the same time for each.
Yeah,
So whenever the others get announced, we'll probably see the same date for the Switch.
yeah.
Um, Persona 1 and 2 are still locked for PlayStation, so we're not going to see that anytime soon. I think that's a rights issue, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
But I'm happy with this. I really enjoy 5 and 4. I've never played Persona 3, so I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to that.
And really, there's no reason to go back and play Persona 1 and 2, but you've had 3, 4, and 5, arguably 4 and 5 from what I've heard are the best of the
Yeah.
series.
Hmm.
And I've heard 1 and 2 are super archaic and kind of really clunky and boring at this point. So I've honestly the only one I've ever played is 5 Royal, and I sunk 160 hours, close to 180 hours before I finished it. It's a big game.
Yeah.
It's a real big game.
Aku is asking Geo, the Persona anime any good? Don't waste your time on it because it's sort of like um, it's like you're taking a Cliff Note versions of the game and cramming it into 25 episodes where you can play the game for like 60 plus hours, and that has anime cutscenes in it with the voice acting, and it's like playing out an anime. Same with the manga. You can get the manga at in stock trades. However, I do suggest playing the game first and then picking up the manga. Anime,
Mhm.
if you can see it later on Crunchyroll or something, sure. But my go-to would be the game first because that's the original. I know it's a huge time commitment, but I think if you're already sensible to that type of genre and the whole Japanese thing, you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Um, Hayden, thank you for joining. At least we still have Lou's dulcet tones, even we, e- even if we can't have that handsomeness on screen. Oh,
Oh, thank you.
there you go.
Thank you.
Let's see. So yeah, that was sort of the big announcement from the Nintendo Direct thingamajig. I mean, they announced a bunch of stuff. I'm personally excited for the Mega Man Battle Network collection, Legacy collection, all 10 games in one
God,
cart.
God damn! I didn't know it
I,
was 10 games.
I am so excited. I thought they were gonna do like the previously released ones where it's half on a cart
Yeah.
and the other half a download card. But they are doing because it's GBA games, so it's not a lot of data. So they are packing all 10 on one cart, but if you want to get it digitally, you have to buy two separate uh, games, if you will, Legacy Part
Mhm.
1, Legacy Part 2. And a
Mhm.
lot of the Battle Network games are like the Pokemon stuff, where you have like Red and Blue or Gold, Silver, whatever the namings that they used. So
Mhm.
it's technically 5 games total, not
Yeah.
actual 10. So
Yeah. Yeah. Um, have you played these before? Because I've seen the anime back in the
yeah,
2000s, and I enjoyed it from what I saw. It looked really cool, and I've always wanted to play these games. I just never got around to it. I didn't know there were 10 of them. Are they fun?
I've only played the first two from back in the day, Battle Network 1 and 2. I really love them. Uh, you have they're inspired obviously by Pokemon and trading card games with that type of game style. But the lore is there, and you have a lot of cool characters. I really dug it. Plus, the anime came around the same time as the game, so it really hyped me up to play them. I'm looking forward to playing the rest. If you guys are wondering, I have the list here. It is Battle Network 1 and 2. Then it's 3 blue, 3 white. Uh, number 4 Blue Moon, 4 Red Sun, 5 Team Proto Man, 5 Team Colonel, 6 Psy Beast Gregar, and Psy Beast Falzar. So yeah,
Wow.
so technically would be one, two, three, yeah, just 6 games spread out into 10. It's insane. Um, Let me. I can't play the trailer. Fun fact: I did the stream for my channel, the gaming one, and Capcom immediately wanted to claim the video. So I took the part of the segment out, and they still went after it because it had an image. I'm like, I give up, guys. So I can't show it here, unfortunately. I don't want to risk it either.
Mm-hmm.
So that is coming out, unfortunately, early next year. I thought it was going to be this year, so we still have a lot, a lot of waiting to do.
Yeah. Yeah. It seems, man, it seems like a lot of stuff that this year is kind of barren. Looking forward to a bunch of stuff, and everything seems to be pushing to next year. I will say, next year is going to be stacked with just a lot of stuff to play and
Yeah,
experience as far as games.
I mean, they from the stuff that they announced yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yesterday, yeah. There's enough to keep people satisfied. Plus, they have a bunch of first-party games that are still they still haven't come out. You got Xenoblade, you got
Right.
uh, Splatoon 3. Bayonetta is more like a second party, but still, whatever. Bayonetta 3 and Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
And they have, there are a lot of rumors out there. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't believe any single one, but I've been bombarded on my Twitter about the possibility of Metroid Prime, instead of being released as a trilogy, it's going to be released individually, 1, 2, and 3, remastered. I don't. It sounds too good to be true. I don't
Mm.
believe it until I see a trailer or an announcement or an actual box for it. There's also a rumor that Zelda is going to get some type of release for like November, December. I still don't believe it, but people are confident, like, oh, they're going to release Wind Waker and Twilight Princess remastered. Like, yeah, 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 yeah. I've been hearing that for like 5 years now.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is odd that we've pretty much gotten every single must-have game from the Wii U era
yeah,
ported over to the Switch, with the exception of the Wind Waker HD remake. That's
Wind
the
Waker, and there's a Xenoblade thing, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly, right?
Mhm. Yes, I think you're correct.
X something something, whatever.
Yeah,
Uh,
for whatever reason, they just do not want to bring Wind Waker over to the Switch, or just haven't done it yet. Which that would sell carts. That would immediately sell cartridges. People would be,
yep.
the babies would be thrown in the air. Everybody would be super excited. That we're finally getting Wind Waker on the Switch. It's always crazy to me because there's that story that was famously passed around that apparently Miyamoto, when he first saw Wind Waker way back in the day, he thought,
Oh yeah.
what have you done? Oh my God, this looks terrible.
But it did pretty well, in my
Yeah.
opinion. I think the job's already done. It's already been remastered for HD, so it's just a matter of touching some few smaller details and slapping it on the Switch, and you're good. Shouldn't be too problematic.
Yeah.
I don't know. Warren says, "I wish we would get a remastered game instead of new ones like Chrono Trigger or Golden Sun." People have been wanting Golden Sun back. I have to admit, I've never played a single one, but I hear great things about Golden Sun.
I've never played a Golden Sun game, and this might surprise some of you. I've also never played Skyward Sword.
Skyward Sword, it's my least favorite Zelda game, but it's so fun.
Is it good? Is it worth?
Because the lore is really interesting. It's the original in the timeline. It's the formation of the Hyrule history and mythology and all that stuff. So it goes first. It just had really crappy controls on the Wii, but now on the Switch, it's a lot better, from what I hear.
I have always heard it's basically prototype Breath of the Wild. You could see where they were, the breadcrumbs that would eventually lead to Breath of the Wild.
Yeah, that's true. I have it for the Wii, but I never bothered upgrading for the Switch. Eventually, one day I will. So yeah. Nier Automata on Switch. I already have that pre-ordered. It's already up on Amazon and Best Buy or the Square Enix store. Whatever. It's on Amazon, so I pre-ordered it. That comes out in October, so I'm excited for that. Square Enix fans are upset because that is going to be an on-cart release, whereas the Kingdom Hearts games got pushed to cloud versions, and they are really upset online.
I've heard that cloud stuff really isn't that good anyway.
They're terrible.
Yeah, Nier is interesting because I've had the game for close to damn near 3 or 4 years at this point, and I've never played it. The reason I haven't is because I've heard you have to play it about 4 or 5 times to get the real ending of the game, and you get through like different perspectives of different characters and stuff like that, and that just immediately turned me off. Where I'm just like, yeah, I gotta play this 4 or 5 times, and it's like a 20-hour game.
Times 5? No, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a shot. I've been interested in it for a while, for many years, so I'm excited. Yeah, the rest of the stuff, we got a couple indies and the retro stuff like Mega Man and Pac-Man, etc., etc. Overall, pretty good. I'm excited. Let's see what else I have here for you guys. Oh, let's get this out of the way. It's pretty quick. DC. Speaking of Warren's comment here, Lou, it's another DC mess. Please, Man of Steel Omnibus. No, standard hardcover.
What happened?
No, he's just attributing what you were talking about with the games to like DC. Instead of releasing like the deluxe edition, you're getting the crappy one. I lost the link. Oh, here it is. This got announced today, and I thought it was pretty cool because we are a comic-based channel, I guess. Webtoons. You might remember a couple of months ago, they struck a deal with DC to release exclusive Webtoon comics of their heroes, and we got a bunch of new announcements over this, I think, like a couple months ago, and now we're getting 2 more. The first one is right over here, Zatanna and the Ripper. Webtoon and DC have announced launch dates for the next 2 titles. Zatanna and the Ripper launches July 11th, and the other is Red Hood Outlaws, August 14th. For Zatanna, it is written by Sarah Dealey and illustrated by Ciro. Whatever.
Hmm.
Zatanna and the Ripper meets the titular magician on her 21st birthday when she witnesses a fight between her father, Giovanni Zatara, and the sorceress Allura. To prevent Allura from getting to Zatanna, Giovanni sends her back to the 1800s London, trapping her there until he brings her back to the present. Zatanna can pull things from the past and future, so she's able to fill her small 19th century apartment with modern technology. She's basically resigned to living in this era forever. But when John Constantine shows up and tells her how to get home to solve the Jack the Ripper murders, Zatanna is on the notorious serial killer's list of targets, which means she'll be hunting him as he hunts her back. This sounds really cool. I really want to check this out.
That's a great premise. That's a good hook.
Yeah. Let me show off the cover here a little bit bigger. Looks pretty cool.
I like that.
So if you guys don't know, Webtoon are Korean comics or manhwa, which is the equivalent of manga, but in South Korea they call them manhwa, and they have an app. They transformed all that stuff into digital. You read it vertically, and you use the app, the Webtoon app or whatever, and you can check it out. I think you can check it out for free, or you can subscribe, but I do think it's going to be free. I'm not. I need to double check on that. Aku says Zatanna over Scarlet Witch all day, every day, my friend. Hell yes.
Yeah, any day of the week, absolutely.
Okay, so the other one is Red Hood Outlaws, written by Patrick R. Young and illustrated by, oh boy, Nico Bascunian. When the Justice League issues a challenge to Red Hood, Artemis and Bizarro, the Outlaws have to replace their goody two-shoe counterparts and battle supervillains and superheroes alike, but the real fights are amongst themselves. Spoiler alert, the Outlaws attempting to go legit doesn't end well. In fact, DC says they fail spectacularly. We're excited to continue expanding, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. The Red Hood one sounds a little bit vague. I'm not as interested, to be honest.
It sounds kind of boring, to be honest with you. I mean, it's kind of it's a Red Hood story. It's what you would expect from a Jason Todd story. I wish they would do something. I wish in the last few years they'd do something interesting with Jason Todd. I mean, what was it? They took away his guns a few months ago, or like last year. Or something
for the what do you call it? The shoot, was it the video game Gotham Knights?
It was in the comics. I think they took away his guns in the comics.
In the comics too? Oh my god.
Yeah, which just makes him another Nightwing, because that's kind of his
an edgier Nightwing.
Yeah. I don't know. Jason Todd is like the Boba Fett, I think, of the DC universe, where everybody's like, man, Jason Todd's fucking awesome. I'm like, is he though? What has he really done? He looks cool. He's got a cool helmet.
It's a cool outfit. Yeah.
Cool outfit, but I don't know. There was that series a few years ago, Red Hood Lost Days. It was actually really good. Where
that one. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's really good. If you guys want a really good Red Hood series, go look that up. It's called Red Hood Lost Days, and it basically filled in the time from when Jason Todd was resurrected to the point where he comes back to Gotham and he faces off against Bruce and everything like that. It's really good. So check that out. But outside of that, I know Jess raves about Red Hood and the Outlaws, but there's a caveat to that. It's not the first Red Hood and the Outlaws. It's the second half of Red Hood and the Outlaws that's good, when they rebranded it or whatever.
Yeah. I read New 52, didn't like it. I don't know. I didn't bother picking up the Rebirth one. Sorry, Jess.
Yeah, Jess swears up and down the Rebirth one is really good. So,
this is fun. Hayden says they just need to completely separate Jason from the Bat family and let him go full Punisher Max.
It's not terrible.
I read a Punisher Red Hood-esque book. Interesting. So, like I said, these are Webtoon comics. July 11th, Zatanna and Red Hood in August. It says here, we're excited to continue expanding DC storytelling with fun, out of continuity stories featuring our characters in different worlds and genres that any fan, whether new to DC or not, can dive into. But the premise for Red Hood and the Outlaws, I'm surprised it's based off the Rebirth run because it does have Artemis and Bizarro. I thought they were going to do something completely different with the character, but this sounds like it could be a part of the regular DC continuity.
Right.
But yeah, looking forward to it. Definitely want to check out the Zatanna book. I do have a Webtoon account, but I never use it. But if it's on there and I can read it for free, I'm going to report back because I really want to check that out. Bingo. The next thing, I know you watched Top Gun, right? Maverick.
No,
So
I experienced Top Gun Maverick.
so this is a multi-layered discussion here. I haven't seen it, unfortunately, but I wanted to ask you. I read an article from Screen Rant. Shout out to them for their clickbait. But it was basically saying why the movie made $1 billion in 2022 while the comic book stuff couldn't do it. And I was wondering, in your opinion, why do you think that is? Why do you think that film is the first Tom Cruise movie to gross over $1 billion at the box office?
I just think that the pendulum is swinging back towards. So every few years, the pendulum swings back and forth from fantasy and sci-fi and comic book stuff to more realistic war stuff, spy stuff, and things like that.
Yeah.
And I think the pendulum is starting to swing back towards that again. We've been oversaturated, over-inundated with comic book stuff, and I'm not one of those guys that'll say, "Well, comic book movies will be dead in a few years." That's clearly not the case because they keep making a shit ton of money. And I'm not one of those idiots also that's saying, "Well, Marvel keeps putting out woke stuff, so nobody's gonna go see it." Yeah, okay, right, yeah. Doctor Strange is, I think, the second highest grossing film of the year. You're full of shit if you say that. I'm sorry.
Let me get the list just in case.
Actually, I'm not sorry. So, what's happening is, I firmly believe the pendulum is swinging the other way, and not only that, all these movies that are coming out are full of just CGI, special effects, green screen, and it is really refreshing when you go into. Yeah, see, it almost grossed $1 billion. So yeah, Doctor Strange. Yeah, so clearly, Multiverse of Madness did terrible, bombed at the box office. Clearly, it was a horrible film. Yeah.
So far, we got the top 10 highest grossing films of 2022. At number 10, you got Too Cool to Kill. Number 9, The Bad Guys. Number 8, Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Number 7, Fantastic Beasts. 6 is Uncharted. 5 is The Battle at Lake Chang. I can't pronounce that. Sorry.
What is that?
That's a Chinese movie. They released the first one back in 2020, and that made a lot of money at the Chinese box office. Number 4, Jurassic World Dominion. Number 3, The Batman. Doctor Strange at number 2, and Top Gun Maverick at number 1 with $1 billion. And Doctor Strange is right there. It needs a little bit more of a push. I don't think it's going to make it, but it needs a little bit more of a push, and it'll make $1 billion too. So I don't know what they're complaining about.
Yeah, it's not far off from that. Well, it's these idiots that they're either doing it for clickbait stuff or they have an agenda against Disney and all that other stupid shit.
Raphael says comic book stuff made over $900 million. That article is clickbait. Yeah, that website is typically clickbait, but I thought it was funny that they were comparing the success of the two. Like, why couldn't the DC and Marvel stuff do it? I'm like, it doesn't matter, honestly, just as long as you enjoy the movie.
Well, it's refreshing because, again, it's not a superhero movie. It's practical effects and fucking A, it's just a goddamn amazing movie altogether. For them to come out 36 years later from a movie that, hey, I love Top Gun. It's one of my favorite 80s movies. I wore out the VHS when I was a kid. but it's corny. It's very cheesy. It's corny. It's fun. It's cheesy.
Yep. Yep.
And you know the story is what it is. For them to put out a movie that came out 36 years later, they bring back the cast. Tom Cruise delivers a hell of a performance, and they squeeze out a story from a movie made 36 years ago that really didn't have much of a story and give you something that's emotional, something that's really well told. The scene with Val Kilmer in it,
Yeah.
I was in a theater full with like 15 people, and that scene alone, almost everybody started tearing up. The Val Kilmer scene.
Really? Wow.
Because he is in this movie.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, he is in this movie. And if you don't know what's going on with Val Kilmer has throat cancer.
Yeah.
And he's been fighting it for the longest time, but unfortunately, he really can't speak. He's got a tube in his throat and everything like that. So they work their way around it, and they deliver a hell of a great scene. And overall, I this is my favorite film of the year. I absolutely love Top Gun Maverick. I can't wait to go see it again in theaters. And if you get a chance, you owe it to yourself to go see it on in the biggest screen possible with the best sound possible. This thing was shelved. This was supposed to come out in 2020, I think. And it was shelved for 2 years because the studio and Tom Cruise specifically said, no, we're not putting it on streaming. We're going to hold out. We think we've got something special here. We're going to wait for theaters to open back up, and that's where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Clearly, they were right because it just made over $1 billion at the box office.
Yeah. This movie was supposed to come out in 2019, by the way,
Yeah.
and then it got pushed by the for the technical reasons, and then the pandemic, and now it finally came out.
Mm. Yeah.
Raphael says Top Gun made $1 billion because old people like me that went to see Top Gun. It did bring in a lot of Gen Xers and old millennials to
Yeah.
the screening.
Oh, absolutely. But it's not just that because we've seen them bring back old franchises before, and it's been a shit show and it's been garbage. This was perfect. This was honestly I struggle to think of anything else they could have done better with this. It hits every single note right from the beginning.
Studios executives wanted to drop the movie on Paramount Plus. That would have been awful. Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been horrible. This honestly, this deserves for you guys to go see it in the big screen. I listen. Tom Cruise is goddamn near 60 years old. Okay, he's crazy as shit. Apparently, he's a Scientologist. Which, if you can look that good and you're 60 years old, maybe he's got a thing or two about Scientology that we should listen to him about. I'm just saying. Every movie he's dropped in the last few years has been really good.
Yeah. Next Imagine is asking or tagging you. That scene of which is also emotionally and philosophically the crux of the entire film. I
It
see.
is.
It's the Val Kilmer stuff.
Yeah, it's the Val Kilmer stuff. It's there's there is a scene of super small spoilers of the very beginning of the movie. Very small spoilers. There's a scene at the very beginning of the movie where where Tom Cruise's character Maverick is speaking to a superior officer, and the superior officer is telling him, "Look, you are a relic of the past. Pretty soon, all these planes are going to be flown by machines and by computers, and your time is dying." And I swear to you, it is the biggest it is the biggest kind of comparison, I think is the right word. Them saying the time of practical stunts are fading away, and what you're getting is more and more CGI, more and more computer stuff, and it's basically Tom Cruise saying, "No, that there's still room for this, and there is an art form to this, and it's actually, I think a lot of practical stuff just holds up so much better than the CGI stuff." My family and I, we watched The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing, from I think it's like 1980. Jesus, help me, Gio. 84, 82, maybe. I can't hear you, man.
1982. Sorry.
Yeah, we watched the John Carpenter's The Thing from 1982. That shit still looks amazing. It still looks fucking great because they used a lot of practical. And you look at a film like Avatar, for example, the first one that came out, I think it was 2011, 2009, and it's dated. It looks really bad by today's standards.
Yeah. The first Avatar was back in 2009. And the thing aged gracefully.
Yeah.
Hold on. Jennifer Connelly is in the movie?
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly is the love interest.
Well, shit. Now I need to see this. That's one of my Hollywood crushes.
Yeah, no, she's the love interest in this movie, and it's great.
Ooh.
They nail it. They nail the love aspect of it.
Okay.
You know, again, Gio, you know, you
Yeah.
got if you got 2 hours to kick, right now is the perfect time to go see it. I was surprised because I saw it on a Monday morning at 11 o'clock, and this movie's been out for almost a month, and there were still 15 to 20 people in my theater when I walked in there.
Nice.
Granted, I walked in there at probably like 2 minutes late because there was. I told you about this. Oh my god, I told you about this Monday before we went live. So I got my ticket. I looked at the auditorium. It said Auditorium 7. I'm like, cool. I walked in Auditorium 7. I'm sitting down. I'm jonesing. Nobody's coming in. I'm like, awesome. I've got the theater to myself. I can't fucking wait to see Top Gun. It's been 30 years. I can't wait. So I'm waiting. I see the Disney logo pop up with like the little castle and stuff like that. And I'm thinking, okay, maybe this is a trailer for a Disney movie. All right. Then the thought crosses my mind like, did Disney pay out the Top Gun license or Paramount or anything, and I didn't hear about this shit? All right, I'm still waiting. I see the Pixar thing jump in front of me.
Oh no!
What the fuck is going on? So then it cuts to black, and I'm like, well, maybe it was like a trailer or something like that. And then I see words pop up on the screen, and it says in 1994, Andy saw a movie that starred Buzz Lightyear in it. And Buzz, this is that movie. I go, what the fuck is going on? I run I look at my ticket. I look at the theater. I'm like, yeah, I'm in the right one. And I start looking. I'm like, where the fuck is my movie? I hear Danger Zone by Kenny Loggins playing down the hall from my theater. And I ran into the theater. And it was just starting. And I caught it right on time.
Nice. So technically you saw like a minute of Lightyear. So it counts.
It counts.
Lightyear isn't doing so hot. I still haven't seen it, obviously, but it's the first Pixar movie back in theaters, so that's interesting. But it's still going to make a lot of money. I think it has how much money they've made.
Yeah.
I find it really funny when people complain about these things. Lightyear has, I mean, it's doing poorly, but the budget was 200 million, and so far it has 156 million.
Yeah,
it's a bomb, but I just find it so funny that 156 million dollars is considered a bomb.
Yeah,
I wish I could bomb with 156 million dollars.
Yeah, this Lightyear is kind of interesting, man, because I think it has a lot to do with. People are gonna wait. People are gonna wait for Lightyear for Disney Plus. It's not a must-see movie, something like a Marvel movie or a big event. And I think I think Disney kind of shot themselves in the foot because a lot of people are used to now. I'll just wait for the Pixar movie to come to Disney Plus because that's what they were doing for a while.
All the Zoomers, they are growing up in this era of everything dropping on the streaming platforms instead of going to the theaters.
Right. So it doesn't surprise me that it bombed because I kind of had the same mindset as well, where I saw the trailer and I was like, well, this looks cool, but I'm not going to spend $20 per person to go to the movie theater, to sit down in front of a bunch of annoying people, then pay parking, and to watch this. Thor Love and Thunder, I'll bite the bullet for that. But for Lightyear, I'll just wait.
Aku says, don't sleep on Lightyear. It was really good and the second best movie of the year after The Batman.
Mm.
Aku, you got to watch Top Gun. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm saying that as I also have not seen it, but an animated movie shouldn't have a budget of $200 million. I agree. You know what would have been fun
Yeah.
if they did a 2D Lightyear instead. And from what I've seen of the trailer, I was kind of expecting it to be more like the TV show. You remember the Buzz Lightyear show?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What was it called? Star Commander or something?
I think it was Buzz Lightyear or Star Command.
Yeah, that is one of my favorite Disney shows growing up. I, from what I've seen of the trailers and the reviews, it seems they go for a more serious route. I would
Yeah.
have done that in CG form and went all out with the sci-fi and shooting up aliens and over the top bad guys. I don't know. Again, I haven't seen Lightyear, so I can't judge. Just first impressions basis, I guess, on the trailers. Top Gun is a must-watch in theaters. Nice,
Yes,
nice.
absolutely. Yeah, at 200 million, Jesus Christ. And meanwhile, what the new One Piece movie is coming out soon, and that's gonna just blow up in theaters pretty soon.
Oh, the One Piece Red. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not up to date, so I'm not gonna watch it. Geo, I saw Maverick. Okay, and that's my third movie of the year. Nice, cool.
It's okay to be wrong. That's fine. Yeah, not everybody has good taste. It's all right.
We still love every single one of you.
Yes, we do. Yes.
Next Imaginon has a comment here for you, Lou. Yes, and also clearly a subtextual rejoinder to those same Paramount executives and the swelling bean counting corporate executive culture. Okay, with cannibalizing theatrical exhibition and filmmaking in favor of pivoting exclusively to streaming.
Nice. I got all that. Thanks, man. Yeah, you're right.
Agreed. I think Lightyear and Star Command are both in-universe things for Toy Story, like movie inspires toy inspires Star Command. You know what's also the problem? It's such a silly basic premise, and yet a lot of older people did not get it. And I've seen people asking, "Wait, so what's happening in Lightyear? What?" And they're confused by the idea of it being a movie within another movie. I really do think it's as silly as that sounds. I really do think that kind of hurt the momentum for that movie, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think. How do I say this? I think the general populace, you have to spoon feed them everything because of a few things. One, they're not up to date. They don't follow this stuff as much as like the hardcore people like you, or anybody else in the Omnibus group. And two, the general populace. Never mind. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. they voted for a game show host, but other than that, yeah. So it's mainly because of the fact I think you're right. There was some confusion as to what exactly this is. Is this? Why doesn't this look like the toy? What's the deal with this? And I think it's just a mixture of a whole bunch of different things. I think they misfired from the very beginning of this. If anything, this probably should have gone to Disney Plus. I think that's probably where they would have done better. But the problem with that is they sunk $200-something million into this thing, and they're like, "I'll be goddamn, we're gonna make some money off of this."
Exactly. Also, I think Turning Red should have gone to theaters instead of Lightyear.
Yes, I think it should have been 100%. I think it should have been the other way around. I think Turning Red should have been the one that went to theaters, and I think that was a huge misfire for them because I think Turning Red would have done really well in theaters.
Yeah, I love that movie. That was so much fun.
It's fantastic. I've seen it twice. It's a great film.
Next Imagine is tagging me. The highest compliment I can pay Lightyear is that it has the most seamless 3D of any Pixar to date. It looks amazing from the trailer. I can't wait. I do want to watch it because I am from the Toy Story stuff, Buzz Lightyear is my favorite character, so I do want to check that out. And I don't have it here with me. It's in storage, but I do have the life-sized action figure giant Buzz Lightyear thing. I'd love that character. So I'm excited for this, and I can separate the toy from the meta-ness of this movie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. God
I
damn it.
agree with Turning Red on theaters. It was so cute. Turning Red was very good. Are those people just stupid? Obviously, it's a show movie that is based off the toy Andy bought. Yeah, I've actually spoken with people and had to explain that. Like, it's the adventures the toy is based on. Oh, well, that's weird. Like, yeah, I guess. Uh,
Well, it's literally the beginning of the movie. The beginning of the movie is like, okay, for all the dum dums in the audience, this is what this is. This is what it's based off of. If we have
exactly.
to break it down for you, here it is.
This is a good comment. Lightyear trailer should have opened with the explanation Lou saw before he ran away to see Top Gun. Or you know what? If they did the trailer with a young Andy watching the movie, and then it jumps into the screen and you see all the action stuff, people
Yeah,
would have caught on. I think that
I
would have
think
been maybe a little bit better.
I think so. I think so. I didn't honestly. I didn't even see that much marketing for Lightyear. Maybe it's
Oh,
just me, but I don't remember seeing almost anything for Lightyear. It came out, and I went, Jesus Christ, Lightyear came out.
yeah. Patrick Warburton, War. I don't know how to say his last name. Yeah, he is my favorite Buzz actor. Sorry, weird Tim Allen. Um,
He's great.
yeah, it is like if Nickelodeon made a Reptar movie. Reptar originated in the Rugrats universe. Come to think of it, a Reptar movie doesn't sound too bad. You know what they need to do? Pixar, Nickelodeon, whatever, somebody in North America with the studios. They need to make their own homage to kaiju movies, and Reptar would be a good candidate. I would love to see that. Speaking of Reptar, he shows up in the Nickelodeon All Star Battle Brawl, whatever the video game.
Yeah.
I love using him. So I think you can, if you have a PlayStation 4 or 5, you can still claim it if you have PlayStation Plus to
Yeah.
play the Nickelodeon game. They added all the voice acting for the characters, and it's a lot of fun, especially on co-op or multiplayer.
You know, I've heard it's not bad. I've heard that it's genuinely a pretty fun game.
I think you have a PS5. I think at least claim it before it's gone, because they just announced the new ones, and I think you have like another week left before it changes, or 2 weeks. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll hop on after this and I'll go ahead and take it.
Um, I highlighted that. It's in War Button. How the hell do you say his last name? War Button.
Warburton. It's Patrick Warburton. Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Also the Tick. Yes, he was the Tick. Buzz still should have been voiced by Alan, just based on what Disney says this movie's about. Yeah, but the thing, aside from controversies and all that stuff, the thing I agree with is that usually, growing up, licensed toys for action movies that we saw as kids, they couldn't afford the rights to the actors, if you remember, and the voice box was recorded by somebody else imitating the actor, so it was usually larger than life and very um, exaggerated. So I kind of see it as that, to explain the whole Chris Evans Tim Allen voice thing.
Well, no, I get it. I do get it. I think also Chris Evans is a name that they could slap on the title card. Hey, Chris Evans, you know him as Captain America, da 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 da.
Mm-hmm.
Versus Tim Allen was huge in the '90s. Kids these days don't give a fuck who Tim Allen really is, you know? Kids don't care who Tim Allen is. And it's kind of the same deal. I'm circling back around to Top Gun, I know, but it's kind of the same deal with Tom Cruise, because with the exception of maybe The Rock, Tom Cruise is probably the last real big bankable movie star when he jumps on a movie that people will go see it, regardless of how rough it is.
Mm-hmm. Chris Evans can't do no wrong in my eyes. He's a very lovely dude.
He's a very beautiful
Did you read that he recently, up till now, still kept his old iPhone 6, I think it was?
Yeah.
And and it just died on him. So he did like a memoriam in memoriam on Twitter, and had
Yeah.
to replace his phone. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Because I'm like that. I usually have a phone for like 2 or 3 years before I change them.
I'm the same way. I don't. I just got an iPhone, the iPhone 12 last year. I'm probably
Nice.
gonna have this for another 3 years before I upgrade.
Yeah, you don't need every year. You don't need a freaking cell phone change. It's
No,
good.
no.
Raging Dino. No, no, no. Technical hiccups with the camera. Um, Tom Hanks' brother voiced Woody in the real life toys. Now I want a Woody film, and that sounds weird to say, but make it like a gritty western. Let's go.
We could have Sam Elliott play Woody. There's
Yeah,
there's a snake in my boot.
in my boots. Um, so there's that. I do have one more topic for you guys.
Yes, sir.
And did you see the trailer for Harley Quinn season 3?
I haven't because I am just holding out and I just want to see the series as it is.
You
That
haven't
that's
seen it?
so.
Oh,
No, I've seen the first 2 seasons. I've seen the
okay,
first
okay.
2 seasons.
The trailer came out, and it is a lot of fun. I was not expecting it to go in the direction it's going, and it has a lot. It says here it's said to be the show at its raunchiest. I agree. I mean, just from the stills, I just wanted to highlight this from Collider so you guys can see the screenshots. I can't play the video, obviously. I'm super excited for this. I loved the first 2 seasons. They were so freaking good.
Creative. Yeah.
Greatly acted. To me, these are the voices for the characters whenever I read them in comics. I
Bane.
thought
I love Bane.
Bane is amazing. Kaylee Cuoco and I forget who voices Ivy. I know her name and I'm blanking out on it.
Yeah.
Ivy.
I love King Shark. King Shark is so awesome in this series.
That's Ron Funches.
Yeah.
Shoot. Who voices Ivy in Harley Quinn? She's a voice actor. Why can't I figure it out? Oh my gosh. I guess I'm gonna Google this. Hold on. Home media. Voice cast. There we go. Lake Bell. Thank you, Wikipedia. Lake Bell is amazing as Ivy. That's my default voice. Thank you, Aku. Thank you. But this season just looks super crazy. You got Suicide Squad action, super gory. Look at that. The gang is back together. They've been imprisoned. James Gunn makes a cameo in this as himself.
Oh, it's himself?
Yeah.
That's great.
Joker's back. This shot, which was really unexpected, of Swamp Thing with a man bun. And what's her name? Abigail?
Yeah, Abigail.
So, yeah, they're in it. I'm excited to see Hipster's Swamp Thing. That's going to be interesting. Batman getting busy with Catwoman. Because, the actual comics, you can't do that, according to the executives.
Right.
This I was not expecting. In the trailer, we get the introduction to the Court of Owls, but it's not what you're thinking. They turn apparently from the trailer, they go nude and they're part of an orgy group or something like that. Like what's the secret society in real life that they do the festival thing in a hidden resort with the wooden owl or whatever? What's that called?
What?
Yeah, there's like a cult thing, a secret club or something that I think featured ex-presidents or something like that. And they hide away in this resort up in the mountains or something. And they have like a wooden owl thing or I can't, we're probably going to get demonetized by mentioning all this stuff. But I remember that like celebrities and people, they would go in incognito with masks and stuff. Does the chat know? Do you guys know? Or am I making this up? Did I dream about it? But I think we've seen some of that in real life.
Brother, I have no clue. Honestly.
Yeah.
I've never heard
Oh,
of it.
here's a still with James Gunn.
Wow, they nailed it.
Yeah, and he is voicing himself. He shared it on Twitter.
That's fantastic.
Bane. You got more Batman, Joker. Yeah, I'm super looking forward to this. Aren't they doing a spinoff with what's his face, Kite Man or something like that?
They are. They announced the Kite. I think they announced the Kite Man series,
Nice. That's gonna be fun.
which is just awesome. Yeah, I love. See, this is the stuff I love. Where this is the advantage of Warner Brothers and DC just going. You know what? Fuck it. There's multiple universes. We're not tied down to this one thing. Yeah, go ahead. Have a blast. Make your own animated show that doesn't tie into anything where we show Batman having sex with Catwoman.
Yeah. Are you thinking of Jared Leto? No, not Jared Leto. The Bohemian. Thank you. Next to Maginot. That dude. The Bohemian Grove. That is a real thing. Google it.
Okay.
The Bohemian. I'm not gonna show off. Let's see if I can find a picture of it. Yeah, there's a freaking owl. Hold up. Hold up. I think it was an owl. Or it has like a pillar of something. Here it is. This is gonna creep you out. How do I do this? Okay, I'm just gonna show it for a couple seconds because I don't want to get demonetized and the FBI knocking on my door. Like these are old photographs, and you can see the pillar thing.
Oh wow.
Looks like an owl, and people would gather there for like a full weekend, and lots of crazy stuff would happen.
Huh.
But
Well, I mean,
somebody says the Bohemian Grove is a secretive campground in California. Ronald Reagan and Nixon visited the Grove and participated. So a lot of people think it's like a like a Midsommar cult or something like that. Let's see.
wasn't there a thing where they photographed Clinton with a ring and stuff like that? That I think this was years ago. Bill Clinton with a ring and stuff like that that looked really weird, and people associated it with something like this, like a secret society and stuff. I don't know. I've always heard this stuff. I don't know what the name was, but now it's coming back to me.
Here's a picture here with the presidents hanging with rich folk, unlike us peasants.
Yeah.
It says here is a restricted campground in Monte Rio, California, belonging to a private San Francisco-based gentlemen's club known as the Bohemian Club. In mid-July each year, Bohemian Grove hosts a more than 2-week encampment of some of the most prominent men in the world, including government officials, former U.S. presidents, senior media executives, and people of power. If you don't believe that crazy shit happens in this, I'm sorry for you.
Yeah, this type of stuff always reminds me. I don't know why the fuck as a 10-year-old kid I was listening to this, but I always have trouble sleeping. I've had trouble sleeping since I was a little kid. I can go sometimes 3 or 4 days just running on 4 hours of sleep a night, every single night, maybe 4 hours. I would wake up around 2 a.m. and turn the radio on, and I would be listening to Coast with Art Bell.
That's so creepy. Yeah, love it.
Okay, so you being in radio, you've obviously heard who he is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, well, Coast to Coast with Art Bell was a show that was really popular in the 90s and the 2000s, and I think it was even in the 80s. And he would interview people from the occult, from seeing UFOs, experiencing different stuff, ghosts and stuff like that. And it was always really interesting stuff. I don't know how much of it was bullshit, but it was always fun.
Mm-hmm.
One of his most famous interviews was actually with a really renowned priest that worked for the Vatican called Malachi Martin. And there's about 3 or 4 interviews that he did with him, each of them 2 hours long, where he would answer questions from people talking about exorcisms and what he would used to do for the Vatican. And
oh my God,
dude, he gets deep into it as far as like deaths and stuff like that have happened and stuff. And the Vatican has dismissed all those things that he said as like heresy, and it's fascinating stuff. You could find all the interviews on YouTube, I think, but it's some dark shit.
Real quick, I just want to creep the chat out by reading this. The club's patron saint is John of Nepomuk, who, according to legend, died at the hands of a Bohemian monarch rather than disclose the confessional secrets of the queen. A large wood carving of Saint John in cleric robes with his index finger over his lips stands at the shore of the lake in the grove, symbolizing the secrecy kept by the grove's attendees throughout its long history. And they have a lot of other stuff like the cremation of care. Its ceremony is a theatrical production in which some of the club's members participate as actors. It was first conducted in 1881. The production was devised by blah blah blah. It was originally set up within the plot of the series Hijinks dramatic performance, blah 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 blah. The cremation was separated from the other Grove plays. The ceremony takes place in front of the Owl Shrine. The moss and covered statue simulates a natural rock formation, yet holds electrical and audio equipment within it. For many years, a recording of the voice of the old club member Walter Cronkite was used as the voice of the owl during the ceremony.
That is
Music
creepy.
and pyrotechnics accompany the ritual for dramatic effect. If this doesn't put any red flags, I don't know what will.
That is fucking creepy. I mean,
It only sounds kind of gay, probably. Yeah.
yeah, a little bit. But you know, after, and I promise I'm not going to get political. After the Jeffrey Epstein thing that came out, where he was sex trafficking children to an island, and
Yeah.
there was a list apparently of a lot of people that he hung out with, of who's who. Hell, he flew with the Clintons apparently like 26 times in his life or something like that, and he kept a manifest of everybody that he flew with. And then the guy mysteriously disappeared. I mean, the guy mysteriously died of a suicide. Come on. He died of a suicide. So when you start hearing things like that, does it really surprise you that there are cults and stuff like this around today?
Yeah. I would recommend, if you guys want to look into it, top 5 on YouTube has a video on it that's pretty good about that cult or whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
There's an anime where a private eye investigator investigates a rumor and ends up discovering a secret club like that. That anime, if we're speaking the same language, that is Speedgrapher. Mixed reception, but I happen to really enjoy it. It's kind of like a B movie, but it's really fun. And it blew my mind back in the day that they bought the rights for Girls on Film from Duran Duran, and that's the actual opening for the anime. And basically, it's like a Court of Owls type thing, and people, they all wear like Carnival mask or whatever to hide their faces because they're people of power. And the secret involves super power-ish things. It really good. A lot of sexual content, so don't watch it with young kids around. Just saying.
Yeah.
So Speedgrapher, really good. Great 18 plus anime. I agree. Good stuff.
Do you, kind of, we're going in a little overtime right now, but have you ever believed, are you a conspiracy theorist? You don't believe everything that's out there, but do you believe a few things?
Not every single thing, but there are a couple of theories out there that I agree with.
I think Kennedy was he was assassinated, but I think the U.S. government did it. I'm one of those guys. I don't think think Kennedy was just a random guy on the lawn that shot him and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's too complicated for it not to be.
Yeah.
You know what would be fun if we did like an after dark episode at like 3 a.m. and talk about this shit. Just to creep people out. No warning whatsoever. We just pop in live to see who logs in, and then we just go off talking about all this crazy stuff.
Dude,
I think people would tune in.
I would be down for. Oh my god! So, do you remember the old movie, The Mothman Prophecies? You know the legend of the Mothman, right?
Yeah, that was creepy.
Creepy.
Yeah, I was creeped out by that movie.
So I fell down a rabbit hole when I was a kid because I saw the movie and I was like, man, this is really weird and interesting. And I started falling down a rabbit hole. Brother, when I tell you I woke up, it was a nightmare. It had to have been, but it felt so real. I woke up and apparently it was a nightmare. And I saw 2 glowing eyes in front of me in this nightmare. Freaked me the fuck out in the middle of the night. Oh my
Nice.
god.
Speaking of nightmares, I'll one up you. I had a nightmare many years ago. I'm gonna say maybe like a full decade, where it was like an alien abduction story in my dream. I was at a relative's house, and it was like 9 p.m. or 10 p.m., like the current
Yeah.
time right now. So it was super dark out, and then all of a sudden, everything in the house just lights up. The house is, I mean, the windows are closed because it's
Wow.
nighttime or whatever. Everything lights up to a point like if it's like um how do I say this? Like if you were pointing flashlights of the highest caliber at people and you can't really see anything in front of you.
Yeah.
So the whole house is surrounded like that. And do you know the white noise stuff that comes from like the old CRTVs and stuff like that?
Yes. Yes.
I suddenly started hearing that in my ears
Oh,
super
wow.
loudly. It kept increasing. And in my dream, I just fell to my knees and I screamed at the top of my lungs, and that just getting louder and louder. And I passed out. And then I woke up and I couldn't remember anything else that happened. But it was
Holy
the most
crap.
realistic thing I've ever dreamt in terms of like nightmares and aliens and stuff. It was really crazy.
That is freaky, man. Yeah, no,
I thought for a second, I'm like, maybe it did happen. So I have like memories of it in my head as a dream.
yeah.
You never know.
Do you? I mean, we're probably getting a little personal here, but do you believe in ghosts and all that stuff? Are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I research that as a hobby. I love cryptids and paranormal stuff. I'm a chicken.
Mhm.
I wouldn't actually do it in real life, but I like looking at videos, people talking about their experiences and all that stuff. So yeah, I love all that stuff.
Yeah, I like Rafael Miranda's comment right there. Yeah, Puerto Rico has a lot of ghost stories, a lot of myths, and a lot of legends and stuff like that. You don't really hear about it too much here in the States, but if you go to the island and you talk to some of the elders, at least from my experience, you talk to some of the older people. Now, some of it might be bullshit that they've made up on the spot after a few beers, but there are a lot of myths and stories and legends on the island.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't worry. It's the same thing. OVNI is the same translated thing. Unidentified flying object.
I've had,
Uh,
I've had a
I
I've
will
had
say
a UFO experience.
I have a couple family members that are they're not goofing, they're not making it up. I 100% believe them, and
Mm.
they had some really gnarly experiences that cannot be explained. And if it happened to you guys, you would freak the f out. It's that serious.
Yeah,
Thankfully, I've never seen anything like that aside from like weird lights in the sky,
yeah,
like jumping around and following my eyesight or line of sight. But nothing like from what I've seen to like full on like Close Encounters of the Third Kind where you see the craft and stuff like
yeah,
that. I've
yeah.
had family members that have experienced that, not just dreaming like in real life. So
Jesus
I
Christ,
believe it.
I just got chills. What the
Yeah.
fuck? That is creepy, man. Yeah, the
Uh,
closest
yeah.
closest thing that I've had is I was with my ex at the time. We were driving on our way back home. I think we were coming back from her parents' house, and we were driving, and some light just caught the corner of my eye, and it was just hovering in the same spot. I couldn't make out. It wasn't like really low where you can make out the craft or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I tell my girlfriend at the time, "Hey, look out there!" And she's looking at it, and then all of a sudden we just see it dart right across the sky, and we just went, "What the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
It wasn't a plane because it moved way too fast for it to be. It just darted across the sky, and we saw a street just fly right across.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, guys, we have been reading way too many comics. I also had a dream where you got bit by a shark, and then the leg was warm where I got bit. That's freaky.
Yeah, that is very
Um,
freaky. Yeah, there was a period in my life where I was into all that stuff, man. I would listen to podcasts and stories about the Mothman, different cults and stuff like that. I don't know what I was into. Have they ever proven, is the Jared Leto thing real? Does he have a real cult? What's his deal?
Because the thing was, I mean, he has his band, and he rented out a private island and had like a retreat. But I didn't really hear any cultish behaviors. Just a lot of people like flying in there and taking pictures all together, dressed in white, which I know it's synonymous with like cultish things. But I didn't hear any bad stuff out of it. Just like super religiously devoted fans to
Yeah.
30 Seconds from Mars. I don't know.
Yeah, it's such a shame. Apparently, the guy's an asshole.
But he is super eccentric and kind of a dick. So yeah.
Yeah.
Um. Oh, Hayden, thank you. I'd be so on board for that live. I'll. It has to be super improvised. So now that it's in my head, I need to forget about it
Yeah.
and then remember it at some point, and then go live like at 2 in the morning or 3. You know the story about the magic hour, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Even I'm gonna get freaked out if I do it at that hour, so I'm probably not. But maybe like at like 11 or something like that. I don't know. We'll see.
Do me a favor. Give me kind of like about 2 hours worth of a heads up, so I can kind of wake up a little bit. If you do, I'm down to do it with you, honestly.
I need to find more people. Yeah.
And let's try to make it on a day that I don't have to work the very next day.
Yeah. That would be a cool content for the members only fire stream. Oh, the campfire stream. That'd be a good idea too. I can participate in that.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad.
So, Court of Owls. That's what led into this whole black hole. They're going to show up in Harley Quinn, which I thought was fascinating. That Scott Snyder made that as his thing for New 52, and it just got so big. It's on video games, animated movies, animated TV shows, more comics. The thing we're probably going to see is the Pattinson movie. I think they wanted to adapt the Court of Owls to some degree for the next one.
Yeah.
So if that happens, that's going to be pretty awesome. So it's wild that a small idea from New 52 just blew up, and now everybody knows about the Court of Owls.
Well, it kind of fits. That's the thing about the Matt Reeves stuff, is the Court of Owls would fit perfectly into the Matt Reeves Batman universe without him having to do too much of changing anything.
Yes. However, I would like to see it in a third movie, honestly. Not right now. Because it works, the Court of Owls works better after you've read a little bit more of Batman, and then you realize, oh crap, there's a secret society that even Batman doesn't know about.
Right.
But if you introduce that right away, as he's like in his year 3 or whatever, I don't think it's as effective. Maybe on a third final movie or something. I don't know. But yeah, Harley Quinn, definitely going to check it out. It premieres July 28th, so a month from now. HBO Max.
I've tried to watch that Batman movie twice after getting out of theaters, and I fall asleep every time. I don't know what it is.
The new one, the Batman movie?
Yeah, I saw it fine in theaters. I watched the whole way through, and I've got the 4K here, beautiful 4K. But every time I try to watch it, I start falling asleep about halfway through.
I need to. I've only seen it once with the when it debuted on HBO Max, but I need to watch it again. So that's it. Are you caught up with Miss Marvel?
No. I'm still 2 episodes behind. I've had a busy week, and I haven't watched anything of Obi-Wan, which at this point, it's fine. If you want to spoil it and talk about it, I don't care.
No. You watch it. You watch that because you have a killer sound system and stereo and picture, whatever. I think you're gonna love it. Because when they do the lightsaber battles, man, it sounds amazing in that final episode.
All right. Yeah,
Speaking of Obi-Wan, sorry to cut you off. Speaking of Obi-Wan and Harley Quinn and all that fun stuff, you can get Star Wars books and Marvel, DC, all that fun stuff at our sponsor. That's, of course, InStockTrades.com, making it happen, sponsoring your favorite Omnibros. In Stock Trades, your home for all things collected editions, whether it be an omnibus, trade paperback, hardcovers, manga, all that fun stuff. You get it at IST, up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. If you make an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping. fantastic customer service, and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network. There we go. Shout out to IST. Shout out to the chat. You guys are lovely as always. Thank you for amusing our little rant and tangent here on the occult and paranormal stuff. But that's something that I'm really fond of. So thank you for letting me talk about it for 20 minutes and freaking you out about the Bohemian Grove. We'll be back tomorrow with a very special manga episode, the real manga, fake manga stuff. Jess is going to be on. Lou's going to be on. Riley as well. Riley's my co-host on that, and we're going to try and stump the rest of the Omnibros with real manga, fake manga. It's going to be a lot of fun. You don't have to follow manga. You want to tune in, because here's the thing. Here's a little rant for you guys. I see a lot of people streaming online talking about that stuff, comics, collected editions. I'd like to think we were sort of the first ones in this niche, and everybody just sprung from there. Consider us like your late night entertainment talk show, whereas other channels, like the big ones, like Omar, for example, that would be like your primetime television. But then you tune in for the late night programming for all the goofs, gaps, and insightful ramblings that we do on this show.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
We're a little bit raunchy. We're a little bit no holds bar, PG-13, ranging on R rated territory. But we try our hardest, and we thank every single one of you for supporting this channel.
Absolutely.
Comics Guide, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Comics Guide 101 on Twitter, Comics Guide 101 on YouTube, where there's an archive of all the videos. And, guys, patreon.com/Omnibros Live, found in the description down below. Gabe and I think it's in 2 weeks, we are going to be talking about pretty much the first half of Hickman's Avengers run. We're going all the way through Infinity right now. And then the following month, we will be talking about the second half of Hickman's Avengers run. So if you want to get in on that, it's $5 a month. You find the link down below in the description, and you can join. You can join Gabe and I know some of you out there miss him, on a live stream like Gio and I are doing right now. Only you guys get to interact a lot more, because you get to join in to the actual StreamYard chat and actually talk to us with the camera, with the mic on and everything. And we're going to discuss this. Gabe and I have been bouncing back and forth in the chat discussing Hickman's Avengers run, and we're super excited to kind of break this thing down.
There you go. Subscribe to Patreon. Let's get it. Let's do it, guys. Keep up the great work. Thank you so much, Kevin. Appreciate it. Raphael got the question omnibus for $50. IST. Grab it now, because it's going to sell out eventually. Nobody's going to be able to get it for half off. That's a great deal on a great run. Next Imagine, don't put this stuff out there. I'm not going to do that. No. Stay away with that. Back away.
I'd be down.
No, then you do it. I'm gonna take a nap while you do it, and I'm gonna dream happy dreams while you deal with that occult nonsense. Have a great night. Much love. Thank you, everybody. You can find my channel. It's A Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime and manga. I should have a video up soonish. I've been busy with other stuff, so it takes me a while to upload my videos, but I promise it'll be worth it. It's pretty fun when I'm cooking up. That's A Week in Geekdom. I also have a gaming channel that's called Geekdom Gaming, talking about Nintendo stuff. That's it. Stay safe. Listen to some ghost stories, and catch you guys on the next stream. Don't go to Bohemian Grove.